Hey everyone, I am Yvette Lloyd, host of LifeHerpodcast. We are here in the Havana Cigar Lounge and they are sponsoring us tonight. But I have an amazing woman here with us tonight, Destiny Payton. Hey,
Hey, man.
Hey. So I'm going to get right into it. I was looking up information of you, right?
Uh-huh.
I didn't like it. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like it because I feel like people don't even get to know who you are, and it's just people putting their whole perspective of who they think you are. And so I want to make this about you, and I want people to know who you are instead of what people say, because I know a lot of times when people say things, you got bandwagons, you got crabs in the barrel. So they chiming in, but they don't even know who you are, and you don't know who they are either. So one of the things I want to ask you is, who are you internally?
I don't know if we got time for me to give you that rundown. But I would say intrinsically, I'm just a human being.
Right.
I'm a human being who is having a human experience and making decisions and mistakes along the way, and owning my shit. I own it. Anything that I go through and I deal with, I think because there was a gap in me being on television and a gap in people knowing what happened in my divorce, they started creating their own story.
Right.
For me, I realized I come from an old school world of if you don't feed it, it doesn't grow, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, that's not reality when you come to the internet. Mm-hmm. If you don't feed it, somebody else is, and they're gonna make their own story and it's gonna grow.
Girl, yes. And that's what I see.
That was my lesson learned. And it might not have changed anything. It may or may not have changed anything, but I feel like people they're gonna talk one way or the other.
Right.
And they definitely talking. So
yeah, they know it. So to be transparent, a lot of times people don't understand people have feelings. Of course, you're human. So how does that make you feel that people just painting this perspective on you when you know that's not you?
I don't focus on them anymore. I focus on the people that are my tribe, that see me and that get me, and the people that are wanting to be open to get me. Because there's people that I could tell them who I am, explain to them my core, but they'll still be who they are or feel how they feel about me. So at the end of the day, my focus is focusing on the things that are positive, that feed me, people that are my support system, and people that want to see me win.
Yes, because I do.
I appreciate it.
I do.
All that naysaying, people that naysay have a lot more time than people that don't.
Yes.
So they on the internet.
We ain't got to worry about that.
They on the internet, okay.
So during the process of you becoming divorced and single now, how does that feel? Because a lot of times people think grief comes in one form.
Oh, no.
But it comes in different forms, friendships, marriage, and everything. So how did that feel for you, just losing someone that you've been with for a while?
To be honest with you, it was a relief.
Wow.
Because what I realized with a lot of women, and especially black women, is that we fight for our situations, relationships, our marriages, because we see what we want to see. We see the potential of what it could be, versus living in the reality of what it is and understanding that if it never changes, would you stay?
Yeah.
And so I was posed that question a multitude of times, but because I am a fixer, I am a person that is a protector. And so in the process of protecting and fixing, I wasn't realizing that what I was in was something that I could live with.
Wow. So what advice do you have to women? Because a lot of women struggle with that, because we look at the years we've been with that person, having children with that person, knowing
or wanting to have kids.
Yes,
being at a certain age and wanting to have kids.
Yes. So how was that shift for you, and what advice do you have for women?
The shift is still shifting. Oh. Just understanding where I am and who I am as a person, as a woman, as a mother now. The advice I would give is never lose yourself.
Right.
And don't fall in love with potential, because it potentially may never get to where you see it at.
You're right.
So that would be my advice. And love yourself.
Yeah.
Make your happiness bigger than anybody else's.
That is true.
And then when you have kids, then you don't worry about your happiness anymore. You just gotta make sure your kids good. But when it comes to relationships, I feel like a lot of times, especially Black women, we pour so much into our men until we're empty.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that we're empty until we are.
I know. And that goes for, I've done that myself.
Friendships too.
Yeah, friendships too, all that. I think it's just to a point where we need to start focusing on ourselves more and understanding our boundaries when it comes to relationships overall, because they don't care if your cup being full or empty.
Oh no, they don't even think of it. They don't even think of it as being empty. I had this conversation with someone about being a strong friend, like when I was going through the storm until I realized that I was the storm.
Man,
I would say, I'm not good. Like, check on me. I'm not good.
right.
And they never really, I mean, I'm not gonna say all my friends were like that, but a majority of them didn't.
Wow.
And I had somebody say to me, because they knew you're gonna always be all right. And I'm like, what if I wasn't?
Yeah, but I still want that clarification.
wasn't?
Like, I still want you to say something.
Now, I have friends that have been there for me that are my village, but I realized in this season I had to be put to the test. And the test was really finding how to surrender to God.
Oh.
And you know, as a businesswoman, as a boss, as the things that I've, you know, been for a long time, it's hard to surrender. You think, oh yeah, I'm gonna give it to God. You say the words, and then you're still trying to figure it out in your head how to make it work, or how to fix this, or how to make this move in a certain way. But I realized when I start feeling my anxiety get high, and I never was a person of anxiety. I'm literally like, whatever, you know.
Really?
But when I became a mom, it changed. I realized that when I start having those moments of wanting to be in control, that's when you really have to tell yourself to surrender.
Wow.
And I'm in the season of surrender.
Feel good, don't it?
Me too. It's work, but it feels good.
Yes, it feels good, especially that first step of you being consistent with it, because you know it's so hard. And you like,
I had my
"God,
life
why
coach
you
tell
doing
me,
this?"
I was like, but I'm telling myself every day, wait a minute, surrender. What you doing? You trying to? She said, you got to do it 40 times a day, as long as you are aware.
Man, so what is like the first steps of you surrendering?
Ooh, snot crying. A good old snot cry on your knees, and then just realizing it got to be so much, and it is still so much in my life that it's just compiled, that I realized that if I kept trying to figure it out and fix it, that I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
So in the process, I had to surrender. I had no choice, or I would lose me.
Yeah. So how is it being a boy mom?
It's everything. It's everything. It's the love of my life.
Aww. So what is like some of the fun things that you do with them?
We have our dance parties in the middle of the living room. I get beat up, you know, a few times a day.
Yeah, I think
it's on my neck and my
get
head. Just we pray together. He's a praying baby. He could be in the midst of playing and doing. And I say, "Dear God," he goes,
"Oh,
it's the cutest thing ever."
That is so cute.
Dear God.
Oh,
So just those moments of just, you know, pouring into him the goodness that's in me, and working on the other stuff.
Wow. I see how you just lit up when I said boy mom. It's like that's your peace, your happiness, just everything.
My craziness, my everything. I enjoy being a mother. It was one of the biggest goals for me in my life.
Wow.
And I thank God that he gave me that kid.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm happy for you.
Oh, thank you.
So I know that you are a business owner and you have products and everything that you sell. Can you tell me how did all of that get started?
I have actually been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life.
Wow.
I think about, you know, selling candy on the weekends and making freeze pops in Detroit with my grandma's house. Like, I've always had, not knowing, but always had a knack for just creating stuff. And my grandmother was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
She left my grandfather in the 50s, which is unheard of, and started her own at-home daycare. Bought a duplex in Detroit and started her own at-home daycare. So I was around it and didn't know it. So yeah, I've always dibbled and dabbled in it, which is where my company name is Madani, for my grandmother and my father, Maddie and Donnie. And it's just inspiration. She was my inspiration.
Wow. So you have different products and everything that you sell. Could you let us know a lot more about it?
Well, I have the Madani Beauty brand, which is now I've launched a candle.
Okay.
Well, it'll officially be launching this month.
Okay.
And it is a amazing scent. And the structure of the candle is a broken piece. So when you take it apart, it looks broken. But I named it Madani Reignite because I'm reigniting my flame. I'm reigniting my life. I'm reigniting myself. And so it's just, I guess you would say, paying homage to putting the broken pieces back together and reigniting my flame. So yeah, my candle line.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, and I have a product line too. I haven't released. I've kind of let fans ask me what I use, and so I may make it live on my website. But I've had a vitamin C skin serum, hair growth oil, and also a eyebrow growth serum.
Okay.
And so I've had those products for 3 years. So I've been testing them out on friends and family, and a couple of clinical tests as well. And I'll be launching those after the candles.
That is amazing. Them candles, I'm going to have to give me a candle.
Yes, girl. I love candles.
Me too. That's why I said I'm going to give me one.
Okay.
So now, as far as you being a business owner, a lot of people think being a business owner is just smooth sailing. And they see the results. They see everything that you're doing, and it looks so easy. Could you elaborate more on helping new business owners to understand that you have to work hard, and you worked hard to get where you at?
I definitely did. One of the things I would say, if you have a good corporate job, because this is what supported me in investing in my company, don't shy away from taking what you learn from them and the money that you earn from them to put into your own, which is what I did, because I never got any business loans. Everything was self-funded, and I was proud of myself for that. And now entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, because you think that, I thought working 12, 14 hours days was a lot. But when you are responsible for everything 24 hours a day, it is even more daunting, especially when you start a business. And I know a lot of people did thrive in the pandemic, but for me, it was different because I was pregnant. So I couldn't be out there hustling like I normally would, because I was fearful of what would happen. My life, and I have a life that I was responsible for, another life inside of me. So it was an interesting journey, a lot of starts and stops, and I'm just grateful that I'm the first ever to have a beauty supply store and salon suites in Huntsville, Alabama, and to have made my mark with that.
That's good. I know when you were saying you spent your money on your business and everything, I did the same thing with my businesses. Sometimes I like to say it. Sometimes I'm like, man, why did I do that?
But you did it.
I know.
You did it. And then what people don't understand, one thing I will say to entrepreneurs is my goal was to work for one additional year after I got married to continue to put into my business. But I got pregnant. And then soon after that, COVID hit.
Yeah.
But I feel like working capital is most important. So that when you have your first year or two, you have funds that you can put into your marketing and your business and payroll and all those things. Is very, very, very important.
It is. Yeah, it is important. And I think a lot of times when I see people, they always talk about the great things about business.
The popcorn effect.
Yes.
You saw the what happened when it was in the microwave?
Yeah.
What was going on? You burnt that popcorn a few times now. But see, people don't see that. That's one of the things I liked about being on the show, is you got to see the ups and downs of Black Cigar Lounge, it not being open for a while, them doing a long period of construction for the first couple of years of the show. Then you saw Madani, you saw me already in the process. I had already bought, got the building, did all of the construction and all that. So you saw me with my soft launch, and then you saw me with the ups and downs of closing and opening as I was going through my divorce and everything else that was going on in my life. So you get to see the ebbs and flows, and you get to see the reality of it. Not as in depth as they couldn't get it all on TV.
Right.
But just know that it's work.
Yes.
The benefit is great on the other side, but you definitely got to put the work in.
You do. And it's like, them payroll taxes is a different level too.
Well, I work myself, and that's the thing. My relaunch was the first time I ever had employees like that. I always worked myself, or I paid, my aunt, she came down from Detroit and worked. So having employees was different. And it was interesting for me because now I'm a public figure. And then there were situations where people were just there for clout. It wasn't really there to do a job. And they were so comfortable with me. Well, I was like, wait a minute. Not only I'm your boss, I own this thing now. Who you talking to? But yeah, it was a learning curve for me, and it was it has been a great journey.
That's good. That's really good. So you are from Detroit. That, man, I love Detroit women.
Do you?
Girl, yes. Y'all, the hustle they have is just, it's unmatched. Like, not too many people on that level.
It's funny because my life coach was telling me, I was like, when I had my son, I was like, I feel like I need to move. I can't. She was like, you can't. You have a baby now. Like, you can't. But I got to. I miss it. Don't get it twisted. I miss that hustle, but it's a different hustle with a baby in tow. Yeah. But he gonna be a hustle too.
Well, I mean, as he get older, you can move a lot more. You like, he coming with me.
Oh, he coming. He's gonna see it all. He's gonna see it all. His first plane ride was to Los Angeles, so he definitely is gonna see it all.
Yes. So what do you do for me time?
What is that, girl?
See, that's what I'm saying. Don't nobody know what me time is.
Before I had a son, me time was everything. I got a massage every week. Of course, to keep your hair and nails done. Or I would just lay in bed and do nothing. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a middle ground when it comes to anything in my life. I either am like on 10 or it's 0.
Yeah.
So I just finding a balance of, I really don't have the luxury of having those do nothing days anymore. So my self-care it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress.
You gotta get on at this.
Yeah, I've been slacking. I'm not even gonna hold you. I've been slacking for a few years. But I have a massage every now and again. I have a masseuse come to my house, give me a good old massage, or I just take time to just be alone.
Okay, because you need that. Now, do you do therapy?
Absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely. I do therapy, life coaching, and I'm actually starting a form of therapy that was suggested by my life coach, which is trauma therapy.
Yes.
Because it was starting to show up in different ways.
Really?
The trauma in my life was starting to show up in my physical health, where I couldn't get out of bed for days because of migraines and being nauseous. It started showing up as anger as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yes, that's something like I'm dealing with right now, because like my trauma, it came to my weight, and once a person trigger me, I will never be around them ever again. Like, I just can't be around them.
See, I get triggered and don't even realize I'm triggered.
Man,
it's scary because I have scary. That's why I say 0 to it's really 1,000, but my life coach says it's 100 now. So what y'all been getting on TV has been 100. It's 100. But I had a reaction to something, and I was telling my life coach about it. And I was like, I had a conversation with them. I told him I didn't like this, and then it ended up on the blogs. And what I remember was not what I saw.
Wow.
And it was scary because I was like, I don't remember my reaction being that big.
So you just feel like you just black out and you just react to it instantly and not thinking about it?
I don't feel like I blacked out. I thought I had a whole conversation that was normal. I was like, I told him how I felt now. I did say how I felt. But when I saw it back, I was like, I don't remember being that. Okay, you got some work to do, lady. Yeah.
Well, at least you've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, they like, no, and it'd be dead smack in their face. But
I saw it.
At least you've seen it. So
that's one of the things I always say. I own my stuff. No matter what you say about me, I own my stuff.
That's good. And I don't think people really knew that.
It's a lot they don't know, but
man, seriously, because I swear I was mad. I called Brittany and I'm like, why everything on here about her is negative? I was like, I do not like this. I'm like,
you don't hear anything about me being the first African American woman, and then I had people saying you weren't the first. I'm like, okay, well, who was?
Like,
just
seriously,
celebrate your sister.
Yes.
But when I say that, they're like, oh, she's begging for people to see her.
No,
it's like
no,
you can't win for losing. So that's why I focus on what is positive, and I realize I'm good clickbait. Hey,
yeah, just keep winning. Seriously, but even like you just being a clickbait, you can always turn that into a positive on your end. So people will be like, oh, dang, she really doing this, but they said this. Yeah, that's what you get from listening.
I saw a celebrity say, I don't believe anything that people say because I've been lied on so much, and I've seen the stories about me, and I understand that more than anything now. It's like, and I never believed it anyway because I've always been an aspiring singer, actor. I've always been in the industry in some form of fashion. So But to really know that it just be really made up stuff, like all the way made up, not just a little bit of truth, like all the way made up.
Just
where did y'all even get that from?
That's sad. But I mean, at least you doing good with it, because a lot of times.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I know you wasn't, but like as far as just now, because after so long of somebody doing that, you don't know how they dealing with depression or even being suicidal or nothing. And then once that person gone, they like, oh, you know, they just acting like what happened,
because they don't have any.
That.
One of the things I really don't like is that people don't have any empathy.
They don't.
It's like you get on the internet and you forget that these people are somebody's kids, somebody's mamas, and that they have family members that are seeing the stuff that you're putting out there or you're responding to. And then they say which I hate the most is, you signed up for this. Nobody signed up for this. Nobody signed up for this craziness. Just because you want to be, you know, an artist or you are on a television show, you didn't sign up to be bashed, ridiculed, and lied. No. Nobody said, oh, well, you know what? Where the papers at? Let me sign. I didn't know. Okay, let's come with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not how it works. So, but you take it with a grain of salt, because you know at the end of the day, people are going to do what they do. Mm-hmm. And you just got to know who you are and whose you are. And again, focus on the people that are for you.
That's good. Well, at least you in that space where you at now.
Yeah, because I was having block parties. I was on there cussing people out. I was doing all that for a long time. But I was like, you know what? I remember one day when it was like an epiphany for me. I'm like, oh, I'm about to block. I posted something. It was just kept coming, block. And I sat there. It was almost 30 minutes. I was getting ready to go work out. I said, I've been sitting here for 30 minutes blocking people. It was that many people.
That's a lot.
I said, you know what? Let me unblock all these people. Y'all gonna see this. Enjoy. Enjoy my content.
Have at it.
Yeah, I'm like 30. I said, I done wasted all this good time for these people. Y'all are fans. Here you go.
They really are. That's good. So overall, everything, do you have anything coming up besides your candles?
I have a book that I'm actually just started the process of writing.
That's good.
And I'm back into acting, which is one of my loves, and music always. I have a couple of songs that I'm interested in. And just being a mom and working on me.
That's good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. So can you let people know how to follow you, or even just make sure they know when that book come out?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm with 13 and Joan Publishing House, and they are going to be doing my amazing book. Yeah. You can follow me on, I call it but people say the Destiny Payton, on IG, on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok. You know, I don't really know how to work TikTok. I'm gonna figure it out though. But you can shop with me at madanibeauty.com.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, girl.
All right, y'all.
And then we can't touch that negative stuff. They ain't talking about nothing.
Oh, I ain't. Don't worry. Thank you, y'all, for tuning in. See ya.